All right. So we got a lot to cover today. The Diamond League Meet. It was going a little bit crazy. If I do say so myself. We had Strawn left in the blocks. We had 1,500-meter athletes that were left at the line, and then they were like, hey, what's going on? All types of things going on. Vorholm pulled up, but we'll get to that in just a second. Don't forget that you are watching Head and Shoulders ATR, and we are covering athletes, performances, and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. As always, don't forget to stay blessed, get rich, and don't forget, strive always to be number one, the best, whether that's the best in your area, the best that you can be, the best in your community, the best in your country, whatever it is. Strive to be the best. So today we are covering the Diamond League Meet in Rabat. And yeah, a lot of things going on. Very noisy. The sound was going crazy. People are sad that it's always like that. There's been periods of time where I didn't keep up with this, so I can't tell you about years past, but what I can tell you about is what happened at this meet. It's got to be the worst Diamond League meet so far this year. Probably one of the worst meets out of the Continental Tour and the Diamond League. But hey, we keep moving. So far, let's cover the women's high jump right here. We're going to go with this, and then I'm going to quickly go through some of these, and then we're going to get into the discussion about the other meets or the other events. Thank you all for coming out, for whoever's come out today. So we got Yaroslava with the overall win. Arena with second, both from Ukraine. Nikola third for Australia, and that's your 1, 2, 3. It was a technical tie with the right here, a three-way tie right here. But as it goes, they're gonna go back to the callback, and of course, Arena did not mess up at all until she got to 1.96 meters. Obviously, Nikola messed up once, passed once, and then obviously there were two fouls right here. It's going to go to your soonest foul, not the fouls that you did earlier on. So that's what the callback went with Kazakhstan, if I'm not. What nation is this? Actually, I am not sure. But yeah, let's go back to the previous events. Hope you guys are enjoying your June 5th Sunday. All right, are we going to go back or what? Okay, we got the long jump. We're going to get to the pole vault. We're going to get to these running events. We got Tangaloo, Tentaglo. I am messing up today. From Greece with the win. A hammer from Switzerland with second. And then we got the Cuban, Michael, with third. There we go from there. I don't really have too much to say right here. I didn't get to see too much of the long jump, actually, because of how they covered the event on their streaming service and everything. So I didn't get to see that too much. I don't have much to say. So when it comes here, Sandy Morris, I got a bias toward her. Y'all remember she was in our conference in high school. I remember her just 2 years under where I am. So I got a bias with her coming from Downers Grove, Illinois. So hopefully she can win the world championships this year. And that many people were saying, hey, this year hasn't been that good. And yeah, you know what, to be fair, it's a far cry from 4.8 meters or 4.9. Sandy Morris has gone 4.9 before. So, but she's did just enough to win, good enough to win today. Sandy Morris, 4.65. Nita Kennedy from Australia. She was getting PR after PR. She got 2 PRs today, so congratulations to her. Stefanidi from Greece, third. That's a little bit surprising, but I think she winded up getting an injury out of this. So hopefully she's not injured. This meet has been crazy, to say the least. 400-meter women. Okay. Paulino really pretty much pulled away toward the end of this one, right? Marilady has shown that she is consistent, that she can get the wins. Williams got second season best. McPherson faded, but she was holding on actually. McPherson, I want to say she did not fade in the home straightaway. She faded compared to the acceleration that the other athletes were putting in on her with about 150 meters to go. Because she took out hard. She said, hey, I'm going straight to the lead. She's fighting for that first 300, really the first 250 meters or so. And then that's where Paulino actually pulled up on the side of her and then pulled away. I don't really have too much commentary here. McPherson actually followed through much longer than she normally does. So she's looking a little bit stronger. But a 51.37, obviously she can use some improvement there. But this is her season best. So that's good. Williams season best 50.74. Paulino with a 50.10 with a win. Not much to say there. 1,500 men. This was really messed up. Where is he at? He fell over the ground. I can't really detect where he is. But there were about 3 or 4 people left at the line. The crowd was really noisy. So they didn't really do the, hey, you know what, quiet for the start or anything with any of these races, really. So this is going to come into the women's 100 later on when I cover that. They didn't do any quiet for the start whatsoever. So you're coming into this race, people blowing whistles, beating the drums or whatever like that. Then you got the equipment malfunctioning, because that's what was going on. There was like some equipment malfunctioning. Even the announcers, I think it was Steve Cram, was it? They didn't know what was going on. And some of these races, not this one in particular, but in a race that was coming up, they were like, yeah, I don't know if that was a false start, if that was, they didn't even know. So if the announcers couldn't tell, just imagine the athletes on the ground. But then they did say, hey, if you hear the gun, go. The way I looked at it, it looked like it could have been a false start or something else could have happened. And so I don't blame them for not moving. And then they were like, hey, y'all going to restart the race or something? So, yeah, we got Jake Whiteman of Great Britain with a win. Jake Hayward of Great Britain was second, 3:32.62. So a pretty quick time, actually. Sadiki from Morocco in third. I cannot do that first name whatsoever. I was about to attempt it. I see some of you guys are coming out right now. Usually I bet you guys have known Katir was down there in 6th or 7th place, but that 1,500, I was pretty upset with that. Here we go, Discus. We're going to kind of just go in the order here. We got Che doing his thing here. The monster as he is doing his thing here with a win. Daniel Stahl, we'll see how he does later on in the season because we know what happened at the Olympics last year. And then Denny from Australia. That's your 1, 2, and 3. All right, so what I'm going to do here is really I'm going to go to the 100-meter women. You're going to do this a little bit earlier than I normally do. Sometimes I switch up the events, but I'm kind of going into the order in which they listed them here. Okay, here's my commentary on this. Elaine Thompson-Herah actually looked very, very, very good. But before I get into that one, I gotta, just like with the men's 1,500, where the noise was going on in the background, this meet, I don't know what they were doing. They wanted the excitement to stay, okay, great. Can you get a little bit of quiet at the start? A little bit of the people not blowing whistles. A few of the people here. I already saw something was about to come. If you guys go back to there, you already know if I start showing it here, they're going to instantly flag the video and take it down. So I'm not going to do that. And every once in a while, we get somebody to comment in the comment section and they'll say, and do a complaint. And by the way, if you're here, if you can hear me, drop your comment in the chat. Because right now, all I can do is assume that people may not be able to hear me. So, here we got Strawn. She already didn't respond. She was looking at the starters at the start of the race, unless they cut this part out when they re-upload the playback on Diamond League. But if you guys get to see this, Strawn was already looking around. Everybody else was getting in the blocks. She was looking around. So I don't know if she was hard for hearing this day or something like that. Okay. Everybody else, they heard runners to your mark, but she didn't. Okay. The person even on the outside heard. Okay. Thank you. Andrea, shout out to you. Thank you. And then, okay, cool. They get into the blocks. Next thing you know, they say set. Strawn is still in the blocks. So normally, if they see that, you know, the starter is supposed to be looking, and then they have the judge or something. They said, look, we're trying to run this meet on time. There are no delays. You could tell that they were saying this is going to be on time, because even when Varholm pulled up later, it was like a little bit of coverage of that, like, okay, roll. This is what they were doing. They were not trying to restart nothing. So normally, if you see somebody still in the blocks, last time I checked, I seen one USATF meet do it, but most of the time they'll say, all right, everybody up, and then they'll come to the athlete, say something to him, and then they'll reset them. But this one, they saw Strawn right there, and they said, pop. The gun went off. Strawn was still in the blocks, was not in set position at all. So it's not like anything. She could have just came out, and it would have been a horrible acceleration, horrible everything. And somebody in the comment section on Diamond League said Strawn didn't really care for them if they didn't care if it was a rerun. Thanks, Miss Peaches. But the problem here is she was looking like she was about to cry. They panned the camera off of her, but she really looked destroyed. She probably would have wanted to run that race. If anything, look, I flew out here. I did all of this. I'm coming from the Bahamas to come over here. I'm coming from wherever I'm coming to come over here. Look, you could at least let me run by myself. Understand that there's not the same competition. I ain't got the vibe to feel off everybody, but I at least want to run. That's what I would have been going for. So otherwise, let's get here. Meet record set by Elaine Thompson-Herah. It was a 1087. I think that was her own meet record, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it was. It was her own meet record set in 2017, leading up to that World Championships. Then we got Talu in second, the great pretender, as always. Then we got Natasha Morrison there in third. So we got Jamaica 1 and 3. The Ivory Coast in second. Nobody else really stands out here. Del Pont, I don't know what was going on with her. Maybe it was the same thing. Maybe it was the same thing here. It said she should have raised her hand. If she wasn't hearing anybody, I don't think she should raise her hand. I don't think she could raise her hand. She was focused on herself, and then she didn't know what was going on. That's the problem. That's the problem with Strawn. She couldn't raise her hand because she really just didn't hear them. So you could technically tell here. Let me get these people. I got WhatsApp calling me now. Hold on. I got WhatsApp people calling me for business purposes and everything. But yeah, she wouldn't have heard them. That's the problem. They said didn't finish. She didn't even start. Yeah, so that's going to be something. I'm responding to these messages now. So in this case, Elaine Thompson-Herah looks very smooth. I told y'all, I think last weekend when I covered that, she looked like she got that win factor, and it just piles on right now. She looked smooth. Nothing was straining here or anything. Yeah, I covered Swoboda actually on the other video. I premiered that earlier. So I'll make a comment here just in case you didn't see that. That actually was premiering earlier, but you might have been watching this meet. But yeah, so Swoboda, when it comes down here, I said, look, if she was against some other athletes, let's say Talu, I would have said Del Pont, but Del Pont didn't really, she's not looking too hot. She went from an 1172 to 1142. So maybe she's just like, hey, I'm holding myself back, but the championships is earlier. So Del Pont got to be, you better light the fire. But Swoboda actually looked pretty good. She got out on the field and then she held it. She didn't let anybody claw back at her. Even relative to herself, she didn't look like she was decelerating. Obviously, we need some other world-class athletes to be able to tell against her. But the fact that she was able to hold and pull away slightly on the rest of the field that she was going against. That bodes well. Now, I can't say that she's overhyped at this point. Now, I don't see her winning anything. I don't even see her making the final at the World Championships. I can't see that right now. No. But what I can see is that she can make the semis. She's going to have to pull something out of her to make the final. And she might not make the semis, but she's definitely got what it takes in order to compete with the rest of them. That looked very good for me. So she transitioned pretty well as far as that. Obviously, other athletes like Briscoe and everybody, they're in the U.S. competing against U.S. athletes, and the U.S. is stacked, right? And there's not really small meets to go to with the U.S. It's like trying to go to some meet in Jamaica and trying to find non-stacked athletes. Technically, out of the first 3, I guess you could count Williams as far as the pros. We're not talking about the juniors. But out of the first 3 in Jamaica, there's not that many other athletes that are like blazing. If you put the youth in there, then you say, yeah, blazing. But the U.S. got so many athletes, collegiate athletes. Now, if you count the collegiate Jamaican athletes, they're taken out of the mix too, because they're not competing at the pro meets. So you can't just, that's why I said with Briscoe, she won't look as good because she's got heavy competition. So she got to run hard. Whereas Swoboda, her being over there in Poland, she doesn't really have the heavy competition like that. So she can take her time. She can run an 11:04. I think that's the time she ran, and still look pretty good. So that's my take on that. Because if she was in the U.S. and she ran that same 11:04, she wouldn't look as good in most of these meets. Some of them, yeah. But then she would have the pressure. That's the thing that's missing with Swoboda. She didn't have any pressure in that race whatsoever. Elaine Thompson-Herah destroyed the field. They were running 2 different races in this one. Let's get back to this. Oh yeah, and I agree with you. Yeah, you said definitely don't think she'll win a medal, but she's definitely in good in competition. Yeah. So Elaine Thompson-Herah doing her thing. I think I never count out a world champion if they're looking good early in the season. So I'm not gonna count out Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce at all. I gotta say that Elaine Thompson-Herah, regardless of any times, I'm not even going on times necessarily here. I'm going on how people look. That means I'm counting Richardson. I'm counting Talu. I'm counting Williams. I'm counting Gabby Thomas. I'm counting all of them just based on how they're looking here and how they look compared to their competition. Elaine Thompson-Herah is now looking better than her competition in a relative sense, better than Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, but she's not running as many 100s. So I'll put it that way. So I still got to put the slight lean toward Elaine Thompson-Herah. World champions tend to defend their titles, so I'm gonna just point that out right now. But it's so close, it's a toss-up to me about who's gonna get that one. And then you said Sharika. Oh yeah, I'm counting that with Sharika too. Sharika's looking good, but I'm counting it from how I'm looking at all of them here. Sharika, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, and Elaine Thompson-Herah. Any one of those 3 could get the title. It really is between one of those 3. Sharika is an airhead sometimes. She doesn't know how to lean, so I'm gonna have to put that bias against her. She doesn't know how to lean at all. She's like Talu, could have won in 2017, but Tori Bowie. Now she leaned, but she didn't lean. Like she could have leaned. Like she's got the same body frame as Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, and we see Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce lean when she does lean. So I can't say, oh, she's smaller, her torso, whatever. No, she didn't lean that hard. So with that being said, I got to put her in the same category as that. So taking her out of the way, the chances of her, she would defeat herself. You give somebody a gun, they shoot themselves in the foot, she might do that to herself. That's what I got to say in the 100. Now, when it comes down to the other 2, because those are the only three I can see winning this. I really can't see anybody else. I really can't see anybody else. Edub said Shelly is fave until beaten. Andrea said, did Lane have a previous shoulder injury? I know she had an Achilles problem for a while, but just recently started hearing about the shoulder. Yeah, she said something was going on with her shoulder back at when she went to the Mount Sac relays meet in the United States. She said it was a shoulder reason, and that's why she didn't run the next round. So if she's only doing these one-off races like this and that shoulder, she's trying to rest herself if it's that serious. Which means when she got to do 3 rounds, we're going to see, because she's going to have to do that for the Jamaican champs, and she's going to have to, I mean, if she's going to do the 1 and the 2, she's got to do 6 rounds. Then she's got to do the same at the World Championships. But for the 100, she's going to have to do 6 rounds from the Jamaican trials. Then she's going to have to do 3 extra rounds coming into that, including the 100-meter final, before she gets to the 200. But she's so much ahead of everybody else in the 200, I really can't see anybody else, even if she's like at 90%. If she's at 90, 95%, I think she can still beat the rest of the field in the 200. Now, the 100, if she's at 90, 95%, she's getting beat. I can't see Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, or for that matter, Shericka Jackson, even without the best leaning, being able to not beat her. If she's at 99, 95%, that's how close they are. And if it gets even more tight, right? If it gets even more tight, you get other nations like the United States coming in. You get those people coming in. But I think it's definitive right now. They got the measurements right here with let's say that Sha'Carri Richardson can get into the form that she was last year, or what people were speculating. Not what she was speculating, but what she actually showed with the 10-7s, right? If she gets into 10-7s and you got an Elaine Thompson-Herah that's at 90%, if Shelly Ann Fraser-Price and Shericka Jackson can beat her, and I'm talking about Shericka Jackson not having to do much of a major PR. She's going to have to hit a PR, in my opinion, to beat a 90% Elaine Thompson-Herah. But Shelly Ann Fraser-Price would just be like, yo, I'm right here. I could do a 10-6 on your head. So there you go. I would still say that the United States won't even medal. Nobody in the U.S. would medal. Even with them saying that Richardson is at the top form. Or at the form she was without a PR, she wouldn't even medal at a 90%, because her 90% going from a 10-5 is still going to be ahead. So Shericka Jackson will have a hard time medaling. She will have to hit a PR. Richardson will have to hit a PR. Gabby Thomas, I don't see her being able to win. She looks, form-wise, she looks good. She ain't got the speed. Strawn doesn't have the speed. None of the youth in the Jamaica got the speed. This is basically Elaine Thompson-Herah and Shelly Ann Fraser-Price's 100-meter title to lose. And really, it's Shelly Ann Fraser-Price because she's the defender. But if both of them fall off, you got to have both of them fall off at the same time, and Shericka Jackson do an airhead and not lean, which statistically speaking, she's going to not lean. The airhead thing, I don't think she's going to do that in the final. But the not leaning part, she might. So you need 3 things to go right for another nation to even come in and have a chance of medaling. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see anybody else as fast as they can do it, because in the head-to-head competition, just like, remember we had in the U.S., why am I missing her name right here? Why am I missing our Carmelita Jeter? Remember, she got spooked from Shelly Ann Fraser-Price coming out the blocks. Let me put here. No, that's the wrong one. Where am I at? Hold on. And before we put the Abby Steiner or something like that, she ain't got anything in the 100, so that's not happening. Saint Price, she's not gonna do it. That's gonna have to be a Herculean task for people to do these monstrous drops. It's possible, but you gotta have 2 people basically fall off. I'm not talking about a win. I'm talking about medaling here. You got to have two people completely fall off, which could happen with a false start, and then the other person, this is the only thing I can see, false start for one of them. The other person either pulls up or they just have a really bad race at the same time. So yeah, Thomas does look heavy. And they Andrea said Sharika is the only one, this was a while ago though, but Sharika is the only one who could possibly be beaten by an American. She'll likely still be ahead of them, but she makes more mistakes than Elaine and Shelly. Yeah, exactly. E-Dub said, Spartan Clawbone said, Thomas looks very heavy. Yeah, she's a very heavy runner. And it's not even like she's bottom heavy. It's just like her body and how she runs. She's a power runner. So she looks heavy to the eyes. You could think that if she was shaped like Lauren Williams, the former USA 100-meter athlete, then you'd be like, okay, that she runs like a Lauren Williams, kind of, sort of, not that bad of a form, but she doesn't have the bottom of a Lauren Williams. To me, that's why when I look at Thomas, I picture Lauren Williams if she had a more slender frame and was taller. That's what she looks like to me. And E-Dub said, I think sha'carri could get dragged into the three-way battle, but it all depends on how she comes out of the blocks. We've seen that already. Yeah. Pimp the 478 said, referring to Spartan Clawbone, I think it's because of Shelly's age. She's limiting the amount of races to keep her fresh for the world championships. Oh, I didn't even see that. You said, why is Shelly running less 100 meters? Yeah, anybody, look, when you start getting older in age, you want to start running less. Think of even Karsten Warholm. He's not even really that old per se, but he's actually at the speed he's going. Think about the speed that they're going and what that damage does to your body. Me, right here. The speed of me going, although this is not still the same, the speed of me going 10 or 210 in the 800, the damage that does to my body, versus going 2 minutes, versus going at 150 point I did, right? Versus if I could get to a sub 145, that the damage it does to my body are vastly different in the speed that I need. So it's the same thing for if you're going in the 100. The damage it's going to do to your body, you want to be able to not race as much, and she's older. You just don't recover as much in your 30s. I don't know what type of diet she's on. Has she gone more plant-based? She's already probably have a plant-based background coming from Jamaica, but has she gone full vegan? Because Carl Lewis did that when later on in his career, he went full vegan in order to stop himself from slowing down, and that actually helped him in his long jump, helped him in his 100. So that allowed him the longevity there. But you want to stay away from running as much when you're going A, as fast as they are, and B, at the age you're at. So let me see. Michelle Mala said, only bronze is up for grabs once, no disaster. Everybody coming at Sharika. Shelly runs less 100 meters because she's working on her top end and endurance. Yeah, so that's what I got to say with that. This is going to be a very interesting year. I wonder how the collegiate athletes are going to factor into the Jamaican trials and the USA trials, because these collegiate athletes are running fast. We're going to see how they do at the championships this week coming up. So I'm going to cover Rome and that. I know we're talking about sprints, but guys, tomorrow's what? Tomorrow, it's a big meet tomorrow. Remember, I've been out of it a little bit, so I can't promise I can be more consistent right here and whatnot. So yeah, but tomorrow's what? I don't know. But let me go over here and cover a couple of these other events right here. I think I'm gonna have a meet specific. Tomorrow's 10,000 race is OP, Gide, Ayana. Hey, Ayana is back. Oh, this is gonna be good, because sometimes Ayana just be qualifying straight off of that. Now I remember she actually had a baby, so I don't know how that went. I think she got hurt after having a baby, or got hurt, then had a baby. Something happened. Sergey and Yahalu. Yeah, we got the is that the Ethiopian trials or something? So yeah. Let me go here. Let me look at something else here. Oh, they ended on the meet, the 3,000 meter steeplechase. That was on fire. That was on fire. That was a great way to end the meet. The 3,000 meter steeplechase. That was a great way to end it. And I'll just say it on here with El Bakali. He did it at home. He did it in front of the home crowd, right? So 7:58.28. He was just 1/10 of a second off of his PR. Well, slightly over a tenth, but you get what I'm saying. And he got a meet record, world leading time. He showed people, hey, I didn't win the Olympics by accident. I can do this. I can take the field on. And Gurma doesn't have the kick that El Bakali has. And he was leading up to him in that last stretch of the race. Gurma could not pull away. But he's broken 8 minutes 2 weeks in a row, or 2 meets in a row. So that's some fitness right there. So that's showing some good fitness. He's right after he ran a PB of breaking 8 minutes. So if Gurma could pull away from him, then it's going to be a pretty good one. Bohr for the United States, 6th place. So I'm going to shout out to him just from the USA contingent. Oh, wait a minute. And one more thing. Congratulations to India. Sable, he got a national record for India. So congratulations to him. 8:12.48. So that was good. But yeah, the end of the meet was good because all the other stuff was going. It was crazy. Let's go to the 200 meter men right quick. So this wasn't particularly fast at all. Obviously, meet record right here. Andre DeGrasse, which ain't showing up. Oh, wait a minute. That was something else that I watched. I was thinking of somebody else. But Andre DeGrasse has a meet record 20.03. This was a 20.21. And it was a tailwind of the max allowed. 2.0 meters per second. So when you look at it this way, a lot of people were saying, hey, this was kind of disappointing and whatnot. I looked at it like, okay, he ran that bend. He got on the field. He came into the home straightaway. This was about a head-to-head. I really was looking at this like, yeah, I don't really have confidence that the meet is going to produce extremely fast times for anybody because overall, it was just questionable where they had people not getting out the blocks in the women's 100 or the 1500, not even starting. And then they started late. It was just like, okay, what the heck? It was just messed up all around. So I thought something was going to go on here. But it was a very entertaining race to me. Kenny Bednarek is showing like, hey, we can do it. But people were saying, look, what do you guys think here? Is he going to be able to make it easily compared to his competition at the USA trials? I think he still got it good because on head-to-heads, he's able to beat his competition. I don't care what the times are showing right here. He's running in the USA. He could have a little bit of jet lag right here. A lot of these athletes could have some jet lag here. He was able to beat them, run a good bend, and leave them in the dust off of that bend, and then be able to still hold it together in the home straightaway. Bednarek, I got confidence that he's going to make the USA team. Because some people are saying they're lucky that Lyles has a bye. When you're looking at Knighton, when you're looking at what's his name in the 400, in saying that look, that he can come down in the 200 from the 400, but he's now doing good. So I don't know if Bednarek is looking that bad, but oh, you just said Panache said something is off with Kenny this season. I don't really think so. I think he just kind of looks about the same to me, in all honesty. But that's probably because he's doing different events and whatnot. And we're not seeing him because his best event is a 200. He's like a 200 meter athlete. Sometimes we have 200 meter athletes, 2 and 4. We got 100-meter athletes, or yeah, it's not that many just pure 400-meter athletes, but sometimes we get that 200-meter and they're only strictly just good in the 200, and that's the event that they do. That's what Benerick is. He's just a 200-meter athlete. I would say he's a 200-meter specialist. He's been running 100s, and he ran a 400 or something this season. So maybe that's what makes it look like he's off. But comparing him to where he is, his form, how he's holding through, I think he's looking just fine. I'm not even worried about it. And Andrea said, do you think Jacob's injury is real? First the stomach virus, now the injury. I don't mean to laugh at anybody's injury. The same thing when somebody said something about COVID. I don't know. So let me read the comment. So he can't run in his next 2 planned meets. How convenient. He's supposed to be ready just in time for Worlds. Okay, the reason why I laugh is this. Okay. Now, when they leaked, now this is not to say this because I've defended him and I've kind of said something about other people accusing him of being a drug cheat, but hold it with me now. Okay. Now, when you let's pull up Jacobs right here. Let me pull him up on the screen since I'm talking about him right now. Okay. Since you pull when they did that Russian Federation thing, remember that when they did the Russian Federation ban and whatnot, what winded up happening is all of that information got leaked, and I already had a suspicion of this, and I think they still do some things like this now. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to close this tab. Give me a second. I'm getting too many people sending me messages. It's distracting. I got some business stuff going on now. But yeah, anytime when they released that information for Russia and a couple of other countries that were doing all of those drugs, you know what they did? They said, hey, say that you're sick at this one. Say that you got an injury at this one so that you don't have to compete. Not saying that's what's going on, but it's starting to smell very similar to either that or somebody that's trying to dodge. If it keeps going on too much, then my antenna is going to go up and say, yo, what's going on here? This dude is dodging too hard. He's dodging too hard. So the stomach virus, okay. Injury, okay. If now another meet and the only thing he's going to run is the championships instead of regular meets throughout the year, then I'm just going to be like, okay, you signed up for him. Now you got these, quote, reasons why you can't do it. And remember, sponsors want you to appear and race a certain amount of times in a year. So he's got to sign up because that's pretty much what he got to do. So he could be finding ways out of it. Now, I'm not saying it. I don't want to ever be the person that throws the speculation out. But this, when you say it like that, that's why I laughed, because this rings very familiar of a person that's dodging or a person that's doing the other thing, or it could be legitimate and he just happens to have some bad luck. He just might happen to have some bad luck. So in this case, I'm going to assume the dodging scenario, or he's having bad luck, because I don't want to assume that he's doing a drug cheat thing or anything like that. But I wouldn't be me if I didn't give all the scenarios. I like to give all the scenarios right there. So, and for some reason my voice is shaking. I think I'm going to have to get some lemons or something after this. But yeah, so with that being said, that's my take on Jacobs. I think he's doing El Dajo right now. I don't really take that seriously. I really don't. As far as the 200, I think that was a pretty entertaining race. 400-meter hurdles, let's cover this one because Vorholm didn't finish, and that one is there. Maroon Child said maybe he just isn't ready yet and doesn't want to give anyone a psychological boost before Worlds. Bolt did the same in 2015 when Gatlin was on fire, and it worked. Well, I will say this. Bolt just did not race anybody else. He just, when somebody beat him one time, he said, nope, I'm not going to race. And I think Gatlin even mentioned something like that. You saw it. He just kept dodging. He was the king of dodge. So, yeah, it could be. That's why I said I want I want to say that, but if Bolt was doing that and he was running now, I would say the exact same thing. I got no bias for anybody with that. I would say the exact same thing. It reminds me and it reeks of those. So I got to give out the, hey, you know what? If somebody's doing this and it just keeps popping up, like, I'm keeping my antenna up now. If it keeps popping up too many times, then I will start to say he ain't just dodging, he doing something else. That's what I will say. But for right now, I will just say that he's dodging. And the psychological advantage, that is very important. That's why I said when Shelly Ann Fraser Price, I told y'all last year, and y'all said, no, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I said Shelly Ann beat Elaine once and she going to stop running against her. And then what happened? She beat her once. She didn't show up at the next meet. She stopped running against her. The videos are still online. So the psychological thing is very, very real. The fact that Christian Coleman got beat, that is a psychological boost to the other athletes. That's a psychological boost. The Frank Wise said, I think Shelly and Jacobs are doing the same thing. Shelly Ann is L Dodge Queen for sure. She'll dodge people at her age now. When she was younger, she wouldn't dodge as much. But as she's older, she just ain't. I mean, her body is not gonna allow her to race as fast as often as she did. So it's kind of like, look, when you at a certain age, I don't blame you. But hey, Edwin Moses is over there smiling and winking. So Edwin Moses was able to, come out and he said, look, I'm gonna race whatever age, young or old, and we gonna do it fast. So Edwin Moses with that winning streak and everything, hey, he over there looking. So Andrea said people aren't gonna leave him alone. If any, you probably said people. You probably said that in a different tone of voice than I read it. But if anyone else did it, they would be called out for dodging or whatever else. Jacobs doesn't get a pass. Oh yeah. So yeah, I think that Jacobs, like I said, I'm defaulting to that he's dodging. Same way that Shelly Ann Fraser Price was dodging last year. I remember I held her feet to the fire and I said it was entertaining to me. It was kind of funny. I knew what was gonna happen before. She doesn't like losing. I saw her as the profile. She fit the profile of me. So I just imagine, what would I do in that scenario? Somebody over here, I can't just get a win. I slipped here. I can't do this. And so if I get a win, I know I'm better than them, because that's how my mindset would be. I know I'm better than them. I got a better overall track record than them. So, and I know I can run faster than them, even if I didn't do it on paper. So when I get a win, I'm going to make sure I'm trolling them now. I'm going to win, and then I'm going to skirt myself away and make sure I'm happy with that. If I'm at her age, if I'm younger, I'm going to show up at every meet and say, look, you just got to beat me balls to the wall. But Spartan Clawbone said, Bolt went back to the drawing board and trained hard. Remember, Bolt was partying hard? Yeah, he did his after parties. That's probably why he does his music now and whatnot. He did his after parties. He would play soccer occasionally or something like that. He did a whole bunch of stuff. So, yeah. But back to this 400-meter hurdles. So the men's 400-meter hurdles, Rosser winded up setting a meet record. He took advantage of it. Hey, I don't blame him. He had no choice but to take advantage of it. What is he going to do and say, well, I don't deserve this win. Vorholm is going to get it. I'm like, no. So he took advantage of the opportunity, got the win for the USA. I'm not sure what he's going to do, if he's even going to make the team later, because the USA team is moderately difficult in the 400-meter hurdles now. Is open for everybody except for Rod Benjamin, but he didn't look too hot at the other meet. So we're going to see how that goes. But meet record, congratulations to him, 48.25. And that was Felix Sanchez. And, man, Felix Sanchez is a beast. So to be able to stand on his shoulders, beat his meet record, great. Karsten Vorholm, I think Edwin Moses is smiling. Not literally smiling. I don't think he is smiling at an injury or anything, or him pulling up his hamstring, but he's like, I'm safe. He was nowhere near his win streak record, but it's safe to say Vorholm probably would have came away if he looked at it like this, like, hey, look, I can come away with the win. I got the win streak, and now it's over. I think he had 22 races that he won in the 400-meter hurdles. So, I mean, if he just only loses this one and then he comes back and it's not a serious hamstring and it was just a little bit of strain, great. Eases off his training just slightly so that he can come back. Because he said at this point in his training, he's trying to push himself as far as he can go. He's trying to push himself as far as he can go. So Varholm right here, if he gets it's obvious that his hamstring got pulled up because he's going for time. He's like, look, I could beat everybody. I can train maybe 90%, 85% how I'm training now and still beat everybody. That's how confident he is, I'm sure. So he's over here like, look, can I run 45.5? Can I run 45 flat in the 400 hurdles? I might not ever be able to run a 400 flat very fast because I need hurdles in front of me. But how far down can I push the 400-meter hurdles? And I think that's what he was trying to do. He said, hey, I'm going after how far I can go. So that means he had to have been going after some kind of world record or something. The Frank Y said, LOL at Spartan. I remember when they did a documentary about Bolt in the UK. He was partying and eating fried chicken. The guy's a comedian. Man, Bolt is hilarious. Andrea said, do you think Varholm or Benjamin will win at Worlds? I'm going to reserve my comment right now. Benjamin just straight up had a bad race, and Varholm had an injury. So it's going to take about a week for him to actually know. We won't know until about a week from now. He'll have his initial thoughts today, tomorrow, whatever. But in a week, we'll know, because then it's probably some information out of his camp to say, okay, his training is not going as well. Because, yeah, he could have just pulled up his hamstring. I did that before myself, and I was still able to train hard. Michael Johnson set a world record with a hamstring strain. Remember? He set a world record. I think he did it twice, if I'm not mistaken. I think he did one in the 200, and these were separate occasions. And then he did another one in the 400. And then at that Olympics, matter of fact, he ran 2 and the 4, and he had a hamstring strain. So that's not injury preventing. It's not world record preventing. Obviously, that's you running without having to jump, which you having to jump puts a whole different strain on your hamstring than it would be if you don't have to jump. So that's still slightly different. But I got to say, I'm going to lean toward Varholm unless he's injured. Then I'm just going to have to say Benjamin or actually Dos Santos. I'm going to say Dos Santos. I don't got confidence that Benjamin can beat Dos Santos, because Dos Santos is on freaking fire. He's only just that much behind him. Obviously, that ain't close in the 400-meter hurdles from PR to PR, but Dos Santos is on fire this season. And he's young. He's the youngest one out of all of them. I think Benjamin's 25. Dos Santos is, 21 or 22? And so, and I think Varholm is 28, if I'm not mistaken. Might be 26, but yeah, I think Dos Santos is going to get it. Not between both of them. Dos Santos is going to get it if Varholm if Varholm is injured. And Benjamin had a bad race to tell me that maybe his training isn't going as well, because the way he faded and died, that wasn't just a bad race. But Muhammad always has bad races throughout the season, so I don't know. But Dos Santos is what I would lean to. Maroon Child, depending on how much training time Varholm misses, this may mean advantage for Rye. D'Angelo said it's not he got COVID and was missing training. The Frank Y said, I hope it's just a niggle. Track needs that rivalry. The 400 hurdles isn't always exposed like they would if they were in the, maybe if she was a Spaniard or maybe if she was British athlete or something. They're just like, yeah, she's this, whatever, but they don't got the excitement right there. And yeah, sure, she's young and everything, and she's going to be challenging McLaughlin and everything, but that's assuming Muhammad can't hold her form all the way into her 36 or 37, like what's happening with Shelly Ann Fraser-Price. We don't know that right now, or if she decides to do it. The Frank Y said, I think Dos Santos will feature highly. What do you think about Ross's chances of medaling He has been consistent. I think that if Rosser can make the USA team, then he has a chance of meddling. Looks like the stream is something's happening to whatever here. But I think if Rosser can make the USA team, then he's probably got a chance to meddle if and only if, one, Vorholm is out. Two, Benjamin is kind of off because Capello had a bad race here, but Capello, because remember,